Now from KWWL, this is the Steele Report.
And right now on the Steele Report, we are here today to talk finances, something that is a key component of every single one of our lives. And I have two guests here today who have been on this show previously, but in different capacities, Robert Smith and Mike Finley. Let's go to Robert first of all. Robert Smith, very well known, former University of Iowa football star. Many years ago, Robert, going back to the 80s under Hayden Fry, but he's been the executive director of UNI-CUE for many, many years now. That's the University of Northern Iowa's Center for Urban Education in downtown Waterland. Robert's been involved in just about everything you can mention right here in the Cedar Valley. We appreciate all you've done over the years. And we also want to welcome back to the program this man right here on your screen. That is Mike Finley. Mike has been here before as the self-made millionaire.
I am the crazy man in the pink wig. I help people understand the world of money, and that means understanding how to invest it wisely.
And there's the video right there, Mike. I always like to bring that up because that is your attention-getting technique that has been very, very successful in your life and the lives now of so many people. Here today, though, we're talking about some new initiative, a new partnership that you guys have started called the Giving Solution. I have the webpage up here right now, and we'll let you guys talk about that because you're talking about life and financial mentorship.
So the Giving Solution was created to help people not just learn about money, but to provide education and assistance. We work with people one-on-one. We help people whether they have $5 million or $5. One of our goals is to help people at the very beginning of their journey. So it's very important that the individual understands how important it is to pick up an education on money and then start using it as their life plays out.
And one of the things I noticed on the website, it says free comprehensive financial consultation or advising. So what's that all about? Is it for free?
Yes, it is. It's totally free. What we do is we vet fee-only advisors that we have identified as providing the best advice. We pay them to provide that advice to help others. So when you come to us, all services are free. Again, no matter what you have, sometimes it's good to come to us just to see what you have and to see if you're getting the right kind of advice that's going on out there. And so through that process, we're trying to help people get on the right path and stay on the right path, no matter how much money you have.
So Robert, the webpage I'm going to show again here today, it says your journey of empowerment starts here with, as I mentioned earlier, as Mike just commented on, the free comprehensive financial guidance with a transformational approach to managing your money. So from your viewpoint, what does that mean? And is this a nonprofit that you've started? Or?
Yes, it's a nonprofit that I'm very honored to be working with Mike on this. And, you know, working at UNI-CUE for so many years, we work with first-generation low-income families and young people and helping them achieve that educational goal. And one of the primary things that we work with families and kids on is financial literacy. So, you know, years ago, I reached out to Mike. Mike has worked with students on campus, UNI's campus, for many, many years. And I had a colleague to reach out to me and says, hey, you should reach out to Mike, have him to come and talk to the staff. And ever since he's come 3-4 years ago, I've invited him back every year, and he's been working with our families and our staff ever since then.
So a nonprofit, do you actually have, Mike, a physical location for this, or is everything set up online? Or?
Yeah, it's online, it's virtual. One of our goals is to make sure that the expenses of the nonprofit are as little as possible. So basically, we have an investment portfolio, which might make sense since we're teaching people about money. And that investment portfolio will pay for all of the cost of the nonprofit. So every dollar that's invested, that's donated to the nonprofit, goes straight to the people we're trying to help. And that, to me, is key.
You know, Robert, you played football. In fact, now you've been a very, very successful referee. In fact, Robert has done the NCAA championship game as a referee. That must have been quite an experience. So you're dealing with these young people, and now we have NIL, we have all the financial part of what's going on. So how important to you is it to get to people at that early age so they can get on the right track just as quickly as possible?
It's absolutely key to everything in life. I've worked with individuals who have degrees, who have education, and years ago, as a student athlete, I was very fortunate to work at a bank for 2 summers at Wilton Savings Bank. So I got a chance to get some exposure to banking and have some idea of what capitalism was. And so I knew early on in my life that financial literacy was important. So as I would hear individuals, or as I was walking in life, I've always tried to help young people understand early on financial literacy is very important. So when partnering up with Mike, when I met with Mike, I'm like, this guy's awesome because he's put the work in. It's what he's dedicated his life to. So the partner up with him, UNI-CUE, partnering up with Mike, having classes, the fall, the spring, we'll continue to do it. It's really, really been beneficial and helpful to the families we're working with.
Absolutely. I know you've served on a local bank board too here for many years as well. Mike, when we talked previously on this show, you talked about your own journey. And tell people a little bit about that, because there was a time when you didn't have any money either, right?
Well, that's right, Ron. Basically, when I started out as a poor kid growing up in Iowa. And as I started making money, I picked up my education from commission-based salespeople, which was a mistake. And I had to overcome that mistake. And gradually I did through picking up the right education from the right people, and with motivation to repeat the right habits again and again, I was able to change my life, and then I was able to take that information and help others change their lives. Just like the other day, I helped an 8-year-old start investing. She owns the entire U.S. economy. Isn't that right, Allison?
All right, Allison, you are already on the right track, that's for sure. And Robert, are you trying to make this a community-wide effort through your partnership, UNI-CUE, and now the Giving Solution? So what's the ultimate goal, and how should people contact you?
Well, there's a website, as Mike has mentioned, and the goal is to help people manage resources. I've always said, if you manage your resources well, you have a high probability of managing your life well. They just go hand in hand. And I started really learning about finances in terms of, it really was in the Bible. When I was in middle school, I attended Sunday school and on Wednesday evening Bible classes. And this family started talking about money. And that's really was my first introduction to, I hadn't heard it in church. So it always stuck with me. So as I moved along in life, and I've spoken to churches before, and so the ultimate goal is to help empower people to learn how to manage their money, learn how to manage their finances. And the people who I've found who do that very well typically do very well in life. And so we want as many people as we can to reap the benefits of what the Giving Solution has to offer. So I'm very excited to be partnering with Mike to be able to take that message out and help as many families as we can.
Oh, that's fantastic. Mike, you just mentioned your 8-year-old client. Who do you envision as being a wide range of clients for you? Who are you actually looking to help? Who do you think that will be?
Well, I've been doing this now about 35 years, Ron, so I have a pretty good cross-section of society that we help. Whether you're 80 or 8, it doesn't really matter, honestly. It's trying to get the right information to the right people so they can make the right decisions. And I would say, though, that one of our main focuses is to help those people who don't have very much. They're trying to get started. They're trying to maybe start over. The industry, for the most part, doesn't really pay much attention to those people because they don't have much money. We do care about those people. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you're motivated to start doing better, we will help you do better at thegivingsolution.org. That is our website.
And I also noticed that you have one-on-one consultations, you have classes and actual presentations that you're going to make, right?
Right, and in UNI-CUE, we're going to April 1st through every Monday through May 20th. We're going to have class which will be virtual and in person at UNI-CUE, starting at 6 o'clock from 6 to 7 p.m.
Here are some of the things you'll be discussing about buying a car, buying a home, building your credit, retirement accounts, investing, saving, and so much more. Let's talk a little bit about the Giving Solution. Let's say that a person comes to one of your classes at UNI-CUE, Robert. What's going to happen, and both of you can talk about this, what's going to happen on that evening, say the very first class? What are you going to talk about?
Well, I'll let Mike talk to that because Mike will do the first classes. He teaches them.
Okay.
I just get them there.
Okay.
Get it set up, so I'll let Mike address that.
So in many cases, what we're trying to do is build the right mindset. You know, that mindset that says, okay, I'm in charge of my finances and my life. So once we get there, it's about taking responsibility, and then it's learning the techniques and the habits to get you in the right place. So really, it's all about capturing somebody's imagination, giving them the oomph to take control of their life, and then here are the tools to do it, and we will help you every step of the way.
And Robert, you said your job is kind of to get them there, and the reason you need to go is because they're going to help you, and again, I want to emphasize, this is free. There's no charge.
There's no charge at all. We just want to get you to help, get the right people in front of them, to help guide them through. There's no judgment. We just want to figure out a way to help families. You know, Mike, working with Mike, Ron, I've been at the university for 35 years at UNI-CUE. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'll be fine because I started young, because of the exposure I had, and I want to do everything I can to help this community, people in this community who come from an environment, come from a situation I came from, to someday end up in the situation that me and my wife is in now. We've been blessed. We made some good choices because we had the right information, and that's what I would like to see people in this community have access to.
Mike, you don't like whole life insurance, do you?
No, I don't, Ron. and the reason is, right, not because I hate a product just because I hate it, it's because of the fees. So what we know is we want to minimize the fees, whether we're taking money and putting it into a whole life policy or an actively managed mutual fund. Basically, we follow the advice of Warren Buffett, who tells us to invest in low-fee index funds, and that's exactly what I teach. And these classes will be coming up in April and May, not just a personal finance class, also an investment class, also a retirement class. You could attend in person or you can attend Zoom. So at the end of the day, however you get there so you can learn about money. You can go to the website and hit on financial education and see a list of classes and when they'll be going on.
So let me ask you this question, both of you can answer this. So if somebody's watching this and they say, you know what, I really appreciate what they're trying to do, but I'm too far in debt, I can't possibly get out, it's too late. What advice do you have for that particular family?
It's never too late, Ron. What I would say is you can always do better, and we will help you do better. In some cases, what we're really trying to do is provide someone hope for a better future. And there is a better future waiting for those who are ready to take on this challenge.
And isn't it amazing, Robert, and you've seen this probably through your banking experiences and as a board member, it doesn't take that long, does it? I mean, starting with day one, 5 years down the road can make a tremendous difference.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, I've seen young people that I've worked with, I never imagined they would be where they are today. And when Mike talks about hope, I want people to really understand that if you just believe, take one step at a time, you'd be amazed 5, 10 years where you can be. If you just set that mindset, you'll be amazed what can happen.
And make a budget too, right?
Absolutely.
Well, and part of this is not just the miracle of compound interest, but I would tell you there's a miracle of compounding habits. As people create the right habits and repeat them again and again and again, it catapults their future into an area they probably never imagined they could reach.
I want to show you your webpage again. Here are some words I want to just give each of you a chance to talk about. Giving, empathy, driven, strength, share, and then that key component you just talked about, hope. What's the giving part of that, Mike?
Well, the giving part is unconditional giving. I learned many years ago that if you can reach a point where you have enough, then you can stop chasing after more money and you can start sharing what you've learned with others. You can help people in an unconditional way to make sure that they're going to be in a better place in the future, and then they're going to be more likely to help that next person.
Robert, how about empathy?
Well, when you care about others, when you believe in others, and this is part of what this does. And I understand that because I've had that be given to me, and I want to pay it forward.
And the next one, I was kind of thinking, what does this mean? Driven. What does that mean to you, Mike?
Well, I guess I would say for driven, it's the idea that we are going to make a difference. It's not we're going to try, we're going to do it. And that's the message I give to the person who's going to improve their finances. You're going to do this. We're not going to make some nice half-hearted attempt. We will show you the path, we'll help you on that path, get on the path, stay on the path, and your future will be brighter.
And about strengthen, Robert. I mean, I know what families can do and what they can't do, and sometimes money can tear families apart.
Oh, absolutely. There's a scripture in the Bible, it's Ecclesiastes, and it says the feast is made for laughter and wine makes for the merry, but money answers everything. But it does, when you have resources, it certainly helps strengthen the family when you're not struggling with being able to provide and help each other.
And the last two might kind of go together, share and hope.
Yeah, it is. And I think of this as our community, and we get to create our community. A message that I learned fairly early in my life: you can change the environment or you can let the environment change you. We are going to change the environment.
Robert, I've always loved your story because Hayden Fry was your coach. He's a good friend of mine, the late Hayden Fry, and I remember him saying, in fact I've heard you say too, that Hayden Fry got you because he recruited you through your mom, didn't he? And the background that you had coming from your hometown. So
yeah, absolutely, Ron. My mom raised me. My mom worked 2 jobs. So I grew up in a community where I saw people work hard. I mean, really work hard. And I couldn't figure out when I was walking to school elementary and I would walk through these neighborhoods of houses. And I'm like, man, but the people I'm growing up with are working really hard. And I found out what was missing was they didn't know how to invest. They wasn't exposed. So it wasn't always how hard you worked, it was how much knowledge and how smart you were. And so that's why it really helped me to learn. I got some exposure going to college. I got opportunities a lot of people from my community didn't get. And so now I want to pay that forward, that no matter how hard you work, if you don't have access to the right information, it's going to keep you from having some of the opportunities that I think all of us deserve an opportunity to have.
Yeah, so your mom played such a key role in your life. Mike, I know you lost your mom early in life. That had a big impact on you, didn't it?
Yes, so she passed away when I was 2, and in many cases I had to figure things out on my own. And it wasn't always easy, but you do the best you can. And I found my teachers through books. Books, in many cases, saved my life. And it gave me the knowledge to figure out how to build a better life. And that's really what I teach today. You can build a better life as you build a foundation of strong finances. We teach that, we live that, and I want people to know that it's doable and you can do it.
You've probably seen people who have not had the information and it costs them dearly, probably.
Sure, and there's many cases where people will say something like, well, I wish I'd have known this before. Well, I could say that too. The point is, let's learn it now, and let's start making the best decisions going forward because we know what the best decisions are. And ultimately, it's really about taking control of your life as you take control of your money.
So these new classes through the Giving Solution will start on April 1st all the way through May 20th on Monday nights, Mike, and you don't have to be there. You can go in person at UNI-CUE if you want to, but you don't have to be there, right?
That's right. And we've made that possible because we realize people have difficult schedules, and it's not always easy to attend in person. Well, you don't have to. You can attend via Zoom. So we are basically making every effort to reach as many people as possible, whether that's in person or Zoom. And then after those classes, you can reach out to us and we will help you with one-on-one training to get you to a better place.
We'll have more on the Giving Solution with Robert Smith and Mike Finley in just a moment. And Robert, you're heavily involved in the Cedar Valley community, and one of the ways to get people to do something is go through the churches. Are they involved in this?
Well, I've had a chance to go and speak to a couple of churches and would like to do a few more because I think that's a population we certainly would like to try to reach. We want to reach everybody. It doesn't matter what side of the river they live on, what their ethnic background is, what their social economic background. We want to reach the community. I'm a firm believer, and I've heard the mayor, I've heard politicians, I've heard business people, we talk about economic development. What better way to have economic development if we're empowering people to learn how to handle their finances?
And Mike, you know, we've talked about this before on the previous show when we talked about the crazy man in the pink wig and all the advice that you've given people throughout. You were able to retire at what age?
45.
40. You retired at age 45. So what's the first piece of advice that you give someone who wants to go on that path and maybe not be able to retire as early as you did, but at least retire, I mean, a little bit earlier than normal?
My first step was to believe in myself. And the truth is, I had a book that told me that I could believe in myself. And that was the impetus for me to get started, to start to believe, because I had a high school diploma. I didn't know much of anything about money. And that was the beginning for me to say, okay, I think I can do this. I'm not quite sure how, I'm not quite sure what the path is, but I believe that there's a world waiting for me, and it's just a matter of me figuring out the steps to create a better future. And that was a beginning that changed not just my life, but the lives around me. I was able to help the people that I care about the most. And so through this process of reaching enough, where I don't have to chase after more money, I can chase after helping people. And that has been the benefit that keeps on giving for me and many others.
I'd like both of you to answer this question. Robert, I'll ask you first. What do you think is the biggest mistake people make as far as their finances?
Well, I think many times I've heard people, I don't make enough money, or I don't have enough money. And you don't need a lot of money. You just need to believe. You need to start, whether it's $20, $25. You just got to get started, and you just got to stay with it. It's got to be like paying your phone bill. It's got to be paying your utility bill. It's got to be an important part of your life to invest in yourself.
Mike, is that pay yourself first? Is that a key component?
It's a huge key component. Saving money and investing wisely is very important. I think a misnomer some folks would have is, I just need to make more money. If I make an extra fill in the blank, 20, 30, 40,000, I'll be better. No, if you're going to spend all of your money, you're not going to be better. So at the end of the day, you have to learn how to live below your means. And the reason you do that is you want financial freedom. You want the freedom to live life on your own terms, and that's what we teach.
What is the biggest mistake you think that people make?
The biggest mistake that I see people make is somehow just giving over their responsibility to someone else. Whether that's a financial advisor, a life insurance agent, a parent, they just say, here, save me. And my message to that person is, no, I'm not the savior and neither are they. You are the savior. You are in charge of your life. Take control of it.
And Robert, you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, you know, Ron, I thought investing, I thought financial independence was for white men. I didn't know any better. I didn't think it was for me. I thought growing up that, you know, get a job and stay out of trouble. And I never thought that creating a budget, creating financial independence, creating financial wealth, it's not a race, it's not a gender thing. It's a mindset. And once I understood that it had nothing to do with what my color was, it had nothing to do with how I grew up, it had everything to do with having the right information and just staying with it. So for those out there who believe that you have to be a certain ethnic background or you have to be a gender to be able to have financial freedom and financial independence, it's just not true. It's just finding the right people to give you the right information and you following through. It can happen for you as well.
And Robert just used a word that I've heard you say many times, mindset, Mike. That's a key component.
Yeah, because not just your mindset, right? As you change the course of your life, you're able to take this information and help your family, your loved ones, to help them change the course of their life. You can build generational wealth and generational happiness and generational financial freedom.
So again, the website, we'll put it on the screen here for the Giving Solution, and the classes start down at UNI-CUE, downtown Waterloo, on April 1st, on Monday nights all the way through May 20th. I certainly hope you'll check out their website and join a class either in person at UNI-CUE or on Zoom. More on the Steele Report in just a moment. And welcome back as we wrap up another edition of the Steele Report. Be sure to check out the free financial advice being offered from that new nonprofit known as the Giving Solution through UNI-CUE. That's it for this week. As always, thanks for watching the Steele Report. We'll see you here next week.